Welcome to the Real Girls of Gabbing, the podcast where two best friends rewatch and analyze your favorite Bravo TV shows. Join us while we make each other laugh, rant about Bravo drama, and go off on tangents about everything under the sun. Buckle up and get ready for a good old-fashioned gab sesh with the girls. Welcome back. I'm Maggie.
I'm Selma. Welcome to the Real Girls of Gabbing. We welcome all gabbers near and far to our podcast this week. Thank you again for joining us.
Here we are, week 3 or whatever.
Episode 3.
Recording
yeah.
3. It's like what, week a million, because we've been workshopping this forever. So
yeah,
we're on our 3rd episode.
Lucky number 3.
Cruising along, and you're killing it with the editing, figuring
thanks,
it out.
Maggie.
I hope everyone liked our little like glass crashing
Yes.
thing that we figured out.
Yeah, Maggie found that sound. And for those of you who don't know, that is literally one of my favorite videos ever. And I'm going to set the scene. It's a little kid doing a science experiment on a glass table. There's cinder blocks, and he's stacking the cinder blocks on the table. Obviously, physics takes over and the table crashes. And he goes, "Oh no, our table, it's broken."
Wow, you did that so well. We listened to that so many times. Once you pinpointed where that like random glass sound on YouTube was from, that's all I wanted to listen
I could
to.
listen to it a million times though. It's literally so
play
good.
it right now. No, that was so fun. It's very podcaster of us to like start having like sound.
I know. Hopefully soon we'll have ads in there.
Yeah. Monetize this.
If anybody's listening to this and wants us to plug their product,
we
have no morals when it comes to that. So Maggie does, I don't.
I mean,
money's money, girl.
Not really, to be honest. I mean, what? I don't mind shilling some fake vitamins or something like that. Whatever pays the bills, you know.
Yeah, the economy's crashing. Not us,
really
though.
is.
We're up.
Yeah. You're so right. We are so up.
Yeah.
And you know who's also up? The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yes, they are.
It is the recession, and we are paying in cash, baby.
You know, we met with our financial advisor a couple months ago, and she was like, "You should set a weekly budget for yourself, and just take cash out, and then only spend that cash. Like, don't swipe your debit card." And I was like, "Wait, that's kind of a good idea."
That's a good way to like.
Yeah.
You adhere to that budget.
Yeah, because she's like, you don't realize how much money you're
thing.
spending when you're just tapping. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Well, I guess when your debit cards go zero, then
when I get the email from Chase that my account is overdrafting,
then
yeah. I don't check my bank account though. I just wait. I haven't gotten one of those emails in a while, so it's been fine. But
that's great. Yeah, I have started religiously checking.
Oh my God, I have too much anxiety for that.
27, I'm trying to be more financially savvy. Getting into like the work that I do, I was making so little money for so long and like just trying to exist. So I'm trying to be a little bit smarter about things today.
Love that.
Yeah. But yeah, we do not take financial advice from the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
No, we do not. We would be in prison.
Yeah.
I do take other life advice from them though. Have really lavish birthday parties.
Absolutely.
Flip tables when you're upset.
Yes.
Never have family over at your house. Never forget the bump it. Yeah. They do have some good values. Just most are bad.
Absolutely. I'm Alex. Whatever. Cooper. So she apparently has beef with Alex Earl.
Yes, I heard that.
Because Alex Earl was supposed to have a podcast or had a podcast under her network.
Yes.
And but she can't like talk about it right now.
Yeah.
But there's something legal going on in terms of like
IP.
I'm sure money and like ownership of it and everything.
Alex Cooper posted about it on her Instagram or TikTok or something because people were speculating. People were speculating that like it was like a Sophia issue again or like a proprietary info thing again, but Alex Cooper was like, no, like she can literally go do whatever she wants. Like we have no claim to anything of hers. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
People
No.
just love to pin women against each other though. When there's one tiny conflict, the world's like, oh, they hate each other. Like they're
That's so true.
conniving, they're like
Yeah.
scheming. And I'm like, dude, sometimes it's like Occam's razor. It's just like
I fear I
simplest.
like unfortunately fall into the trap too often of
Mm,
the drama because I love drama.
I know, yeah.
So, but yeah,
Easy.
I have to make sure to check myself about those things because a lot of it's just stupid shit that it's
Yeah.
like not even worth commenting on.
Yeah.
But I am a gossip through
Yeah,
and through.
same.
Um, here's my Aquaphor, by the way. It's Aquaphor Baby. Oh my God, it's not working.
Sponsor us.
Yeah. Oh, I would love this sponsorship. My friend's mom, who she was going through radiation for breast cancer, and she like swears by Aquaphor as being like a lifesaver. And the only thing that kept her skin okay during that
Sponsor
process.
us. Not that
Mhm.
you need the advertisement, but we will do it.
Absolutely. This is like one I would feel no shame in too.
Yeah,
Like
no,
this
for
is
100%.
a
Yeah.
wholehearted sponsor.
Me messaging Melissa Gorga to send us her
Oh, and
new
I think that's
cake.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had a
absolutely.
dream about that during my nap last night, actually, that she reached out, that she was like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me sooner that you wanted one? And I was like, wait, I need to wake up.
You get to like sit there and be like, did that happen? Did I talk to
Yeah.
Melissa Gorga?
No, I literally checked my Instagram DMs to make sure she didn't message me back.
Well, like a early evening nap can confuse you like that. So,
Why are nap dreams so explicit? Like they're
yeah.
so like they're giving like 24-hour news cycle. They're so like they're so like what's the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for? Like they're so
Visceral.
present. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like very
Uh-huh.
current with what's happening in your life.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
So
I'm sure it's
weird.
something to do with like how far into the REM cycle you fall
Right.
or whatever, or how many REM cycles. Because I think when you sleep like through the night, like you're obviously in like you're having
Yeah.
multiple REM cycles.
Yeah.
Maybe you like just remember something from like a short sleep
Maybe,
better.
man.
I don't fucking know. I haven't taken like a sleep psychology course since like high
Right.
school.
Speaking of
Not even
sleep
a course.
psychology, I really want to get an aura ring, but I also feel like it's such a commitment.
Yeah, I'm just like those are nothing. Like I wouldn't be good with an Apple Watch. I wouldn't be good with an
Yeah.
Aura ring. Those
I
are
haven't
two
worn my
things
Apple
where
Watch in months.
those would be wastes
Months.
of money for me
Yeah.
personally.
I just want
Like,
to know about my sleep with the Aura ring.
yeah. Yeah.
But then
I
it's
think
like
there's
I
like
think you have to
apps.
wear it all the time and like it's a cute gold ring, but like what if I want to switch it up? Then I'm
For
stressed. Then
sure.
I have anxiety about messing up my health data and that's like I can't take that on.
Okay, I just like wouldn't get that then.
Yeah.
If that's what's keeping you up at night, I would skip that.
No, but I literally think about if I should get one every single day because apparently you could submit it to your health insurance and they'll pay for half of it because you can use it as like cycle tracking for birth control.
Oh,
And then I have an HSA
interesting.
card, so I can just pay for the other half with the HSA card.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. My insurance for my eyes sucks, so I have to use my whole HSA on my glasses
Oh,
or my
that
contacts
sucks.
yearly. I
That
know.
sucks.
It like only we can only get like new frames every 2 years, and like my
Mm-hmm.
prescription changes every year. And I always get my glasses at Warby Parker, and
Mm-hmm.
they only recently changed their policy where now you can like just have the lenses
Yeah.
changed instead of the whole frame. So I've wasted so much money on just getting like whole new glasses.
But what do you do when you have to get new lenses? Like, and do you just, and but you want to get it in the same frame? Like, you have to send your glasses off and then you can't see.
So previously at Warby, you had to like do the whole new thing.
So you haven't done the new thing
I
yet.
haven't done the
Okay,
whole
okay,
new thing
okay.
yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, basic. I mean, I always keep my
Warby
older
Parker, please sponsor
Warby
us.
Parker, please sponsor us. I look so good in their
Yeah, you
glasses.
do. Kevin has Warby Parker glasses. He loves them.
I love them. Yeah, no, but you would just like raw dog life, I guess,
Yeah.
if you didn't have those lenses. I mean, I always keep my like most recent prescription glasses like in my car anyway, if I
Yeah.
ever had like an emergency sight issue.
Hmm.
So I think I'd be okay. My
Yeah.
prescription changes, but it's nothing like too drastic.
Yeah.
I'd survive the like couple weeks. Um, but yeah, well, that's my health update. Health
Great.
up
Awesome.
yeah, health update for the pod. Gonna tell you my BMI next.
Let me pull up my chart cholesterol levels really quick.
How's your LDL? Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of health, what is your intention for this week,
Oh my
Maggie?
gosh, thank you for asking. I've been waiting for somebody to ask me this. I've actually thought of one ahead of time.
Amazing.
My intention this week is to be in vacation mode. I am
Ooh.
leaving. I don't even know if I've told you this. I'm going to
Yes,
Destin
you told me
next
last
week.
night.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You're in vacation
Um,
mode.
I'm in vacation mode,
Yeah.
so I'm not sorry. Yeah, so I leave for Florida in a week,
So
for a few
exciting.
days by the beach with my family, and I'm
Amazing.
just like not gonna allow anything to bother me until
Good.
then.
Until after
And
then.
until, oh yes, you're so
Yeah.
right. I won't
Yeah.
let, yes,
Yeah.
yes, until after then.
Yeah.
And then an intention within that intention is that I'm not gonna let myself burn.
Good.
But I have a tendency of it's like one or the other, where it's like I either burn or I put so much sunscreen on that you could not tell that I went outdoors. Like when I went to
No,
Cancun
but that's
in
good.
January, it was disappointing.
Yeah, but you know what's not
I went to
disappointing is
Cancun.
not getting skin cancer.
Okay, sure. Sure, yes. But I went to Cancun for 10 days and I could have easily have just been laying in my bed for 10 days based
Yeah.
on in January. Like
Yeah.
that's I was so pale and I was like, damn, I don't even have freckles to like show
Yeah.
for it. So
What SPF were you using?
I think I was using like 50, but I just
But you were
kept
just,
I was
yeah.
so good at applying because I
Yeah.
was so terrified of
Yeah.
like how much the UV was there. But
Maybe
yeah,
do
and
like
then
an SPF 30 this time.
yeah, and I'm still gonna be good about applying. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going with my niece and nephew, so
Yeah.
like my sister's very, very good about sunscreen and everything. But I would
Yeah.
like at a minimum to have freckles. That is
Yeah.
what I want. I want my freckles to come out. And I was
Yeah.
so sad when I came back from Cancun and I didn't have them. So
Forgot
that
that you were
is
there for 10 days.
if something like that. I don't
It was a long time.
I ended up going out a little bit. It was too long to be in
Yeah.
Cancun, I feel.
Yeah.
But I went out early because there was a really bad snowstorm in Chicago
Right.
and I was trying to miss
I
it.
remember.
And the guy I was seeing was like, "Oh, it's so dangerous. Like you got to go out early." And my stupid brain was like, "Oh my God, you're so right." And then for
No.
some
One thing that
reason,
man was never right. Ever.
I should never listen to a man.
That was your,
Except God.
honestly, that's your
Except
fault.
God.
Okay.
No, it is my
Not the
fault.
Catholic Church coming back to haunt us.
I'm just I don't want to jinx myself, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was my fault entirely. Um, oh, also intention. I have a lot of intentions
I
this
see
week.
that. Yeah.
Sorry, but
It's okay.
also Lord dropped a snippet of her new song
Amazing.
yesterday. And I've been listening to it constantly because it's like when
I haven't heard it.
I'll have to send it to you. It's
Yeah.
so good and it's so like oh, it's very melodrama,
Hmm.
Lord. So I feel like it definitely is, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. What is her first album? I'm gonna get so much hate. Whatever.
Girl, I don't
Um,
know. So I'm right there with you.
I want to say like 400. No, that's not the name of the album. I
Let me
don't,
look it up.
whatever. Her first album. This is so embarrassing of me. I'm
Are you
sorry.
even a fan?
No, apparently not.
Pure heroine.
Pure heroine. That is so embarrassing, actually, that I didn't know that off the top of my head. I'm so sorry, God. Um, yeah, so a snippet of her new song came out. So that is just for me a sign of being in like summer mode and living life and not caring. And it's
Amazing.
like brat summer, but in a more emotional way. And I'm very
Emotionally
excited,
intelligent brat summer.
basically. And I'm so excited for it. So
I'm
my
really excited
intention
for you.
is to lean into those vibes as well.
I love
Yeah.
that.
What are your intentions, Selma?
I have one big one for this
Okay.
week,
Huge.
and it's one that I should be practicing all the time, and that is to regulate my nervous system
Okay. Okay.
because she's been down bad
She
these last few
has.
weeks. And she's her own worst enemy, I
She
fear, at this
is.
point in time.
How does one regulate their nervous system?
Through therapy and decreasing my screen time probably and
Okay. Okay. I'll
not
get you off of here quick. Don't worry.
and not thinking about things that I can't control or not dwelling on things that I can't control. And I'm just gonna trying to not let that affect me, but girl's
Oh my God.
tired.
There we go. Yeah,
Girl's
we need
tired.
you need yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The girl needs regulation.
You know what would help me with that? My fucking aura ring.
Oh, no, that's the capitalist trap
I
into
know. I
emotional
keep thinking that.
regulation
I
or
keep
nervous.
thinking that. I'm like, I bet I really don't actually need one, and I'm just literally falling into like a capitalistic like wormhole
Yeah,
because it's all over my For You page and it's everywhere. I think I'm just like being so inundated with the ads that it's getting to me.
yeah, I
The
think so
Aura Ring,
too.
send me one for free.
Sponsor us. I mean, I'm sure there's like benefits and like if someone can totally afford it, like go for it,
But it's
whatever.
so expensive. And there's a monthly subscription for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you people existed before the Aura Ring. They will exist
100%.
after the Aura Ring.
Yes, I
You can
agree.
regulate without it, in my
I agree.
opinion. But
I agree. But yeah, that's my intention. And I hope that it, I intend on practicing that, but nervous
we'll
system
see.
has a mind of its own.
It really does. It really
Yeah.
does. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing.
Thank you for asking.
Of course, anytime. So, do you want to jump in to this week's episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey?
Yes, I would love nothing more. I'm so excited for you to give us a recap. Maggie is going to be doing episode 3 this week.
Yes, and it is called Not One of Us.
Ooh,
The girls are fighting. The girls are
okay.
very much fighting,
Their
and
nervous systems are not regulated.
no, not one bit.
Yeah.
Not one bit. And there's a lot of othering people and
Mm.
starting to like kind of pick out the weakest link and targeting them.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, no, like I think we've been leading up to a lot of drama, like,
First 2 episodes were packed.
yeah, and
Yeah.
there's like you can feel the cattiness. We're being told about these
Right.
issues that predated the show between Dina and Danielle. Um, but we haven't really seen them interact much beyond obviously when Danielle wanted to wear
Dina.
Dina like last year's Versace.
Right.
Um, but this episode we see them interact more and we can see the cattiness. And honestly, neither of them come out looking great.
Okay.
Watching it back, I was kind of like, wow, a lot of people on this show are terrible, which like I shouldn't be surprised by
Yeah.
that. But people were just assholes this
Yeah.
episode. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack. So buckle up, get a slice of pizza, get some gabagool.
And listen in.
And listen in, ladies and gents. So, Not One of Us opens up with Miss Teresa Giudice taking her daughter Gia into New York City for a meeting with a modeling agency. We are informed that she did not, in fact, get that job with The Rock.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. Not a shocker. I feel
No.
like Gia, I don't know, there's something, it feels very forced. Teresa leaves 1 hour before the meeting in New York City, and she leaves at 11. The meeting's at 12, thinking
There's
she'll
no way
get
she
there
was
in an
on time.
hour. The GPS is like freaking out,
Oh,
which
I remember this.
yeah, if
When she's
you
on the bridge and it's freaking out.
yes,
Yes.
and it isn't telling her where to go, and I guarantee you this girl doesn't know where she's going. And it reminded me of 2 things. One, if you're from Chicago and you've ever had to go on Lower Wacker and your GPS just stops and it thinks you're underwater. It like has no idea where you are, and it is you, the other drivers, and God trying to find your way out of Lower Wacker. I've spent like lots of time down there unable to find my way out. So that was like
Just
that
dwelling in a tunnel.
yeah, when you're like, I just have to stop. Like, I don't know how to get out of here. That's why my family was very late to dinner a few weeks ago because they got stuck on Lower Wacker. But yeah, so the GPS freaking out reminded me of that.
Mhm.
It also the way she was like following it and like ended up back in New Jersey at one point. She's just fucking lost.
That damn turnpike. It's
It
gonna do it every
reminded
time.
me of this one time where like I was with Sylvia.
Uh-huh.
Shout out Sylvia.
Hi,
And
Sylvia.
I was like, oh, I know how to get home. Like, no worries, don't need to use the GPS. And I have zero sense of direction. Then I got us lost. So I was like, well, we gotta turn the GPS on. The GPS tells me to like cut through this neighborhood. And as I'm driving, it's like I'm realizing I'm in a construction zone. And
Oh
it's like
no.
I'm like in my like my Chevy Equinox and there's like
Shout out
dust.
Chevy.
There's like dust plumes like behind me and I'm like jumping like a little there's like piles of dirt. I'm like
Oh,
going, and I was like, it's just on the other side of this construction site. And we get to the other side of the construction. I'm following the GPS this whole
right.
time. And it's like a ditch. It's like straight down like a mud ditch because it was a fucking construction site. And it reminded me of that episode of The Office where Michael just like
Oh,
falls
goes into the
into the
lake.
lake. Like that is
Dwight's like, why would it tell you to go into the lake? Like, there's no way. He's like,
no,
I'm following the directions.
that is literally me. I almost went into a ditch because of that. I will follow GPS until I die. So I related to Teresa so much in the
Yeah.
way where it's like, well, I just have to keep listening. I have no idea where I am. And you could just look up and like know where you are, but you're like, I can't tell you where I am.
Cardinal directions, pass.
No idea. No
Yeah.
idea.
I think it stems from like having to print out directions on MapQuest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, before like a long car ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we used to have to take it like everywhere when we were
Mhm.
younger.
Oh
Like
yeah.
like
Like that was your chore.
yeah, because my
Go
parents
print out the
didn't.
map.
First of all, I literally was coding at like 11 because I was like figuring out how to put these addresses in. Again, didn't speak English, so I had no idea what the
Coding.
fuck I was
You're like,
doing.
none of these words are making sense.
And
You're like, I don't know, whatever EOST means.
I wasn't the one driving, so I had no stake in the game. I was a passenger. No, we had to use them all the time, and then like if we ran out of printer ink, like we just didn't go. Like
No, because printer ink's expensive, or you'd have to handwrite them. I've
yeah.
had to do that
Oh my
before.
God, yeah.
But as our English language learner, that wasn't gonna happen.
I was still reading shit in kilometers. I didn't even.
This means nothing to anybody driving this car.
No. Oh, that's really funny. She would get lost though.
Yeah, no, she got so lost.
Yeah.
And the last time update they give us, she's only 12 minutes late, but she is still on the New Jersey like highway. So I imagine that they didn't get there until like 1 o'clock.
Yeah. God, that's
but
so unprofessional.
yeah, so unprofessional. Selma.
Please. Okay, that's your one time you get to use it against me.
No, I know, but it's funny.
We were laugh.
Funny.
We were supposed to record last night and I literally was comatose. I woke up and like sent Maggie a picture of like the nap marks on my arm. I was like, I swear to God, I was asleep. Like
It was okay. We're okay.
Yeah.
And that was my one and only joke making fun of you. I swear I don't care.
It's fine. It's fine.
But nobody gives Teresa a hard time, like literally at all about that. However, I will say the lady she met with was not receptive to Teresa's like efforts to make Gia a model. Teresa says she spent $800 on these like professional photos for Gia,
Cash.
and they
Hashtag
just
cash.
yeah, obviously. And I mean, they look so edited. Like contrast is all the way up.
Yeah.
Gia, for some reason, is super pale, but then her eyebrows and her hair is really, really dark.
Yeah.
And then her eyes are like insane. So it just like looks
The saturation was saturating.
saturation and contrast all the way up.
Yeah.
And the model agency lady from Wilhelmina was like, "Not this isn't."
Wilhelmina.
That's what it's called. It's one of the top
Oh
agencies.
my God, who got her that meeting?
Oh, is that a big one?
Yes, it's huge.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I was like, I don't know.
Wilhelmina Models is huge.
Okay, yeah. So it was a meeting with Wilhelmina and not with the Wilhelmina, with a Wilhelmina
Mrs. Wilhelmina.
is Miss Mina Kamawilla. And
Shout out Willa.
shout out Willa. Yeah, the lady is just like, your kid looks very pageant.
Yeah, I
And
remember that. Yeah.
Teresa's like, thank you. And she's like, that's not what we want. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, Teresa is like, okay, I'll go get new photos done. The lady just doesn't want Teresa to like put all this makeup on Gia and stuff.
Right. Again,
So
she's 7, so yeah, that's a
she's
pretty
7.
reasonable
Yes.
request.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. And I just really don't feel like Teresa's totally understanding what this woman is saying, but she sends her on her merry way. Now, as you said, the jumps to new people are very drastic in this first season.
Yes.
So we next jump to Dina,
Hmm.
who is also in the city, and she's going to a warehouse with her brother Jamie, who's a celebrity chef. And Jamie, we do see more of him later, and I think he comes to my hometown at some point. She says there's a mega celebrity in New York,
Hmm.
and they're picking out like pieces for his cooking event or whatever. I'm sure
Yes,
like
that's what it
someone,
was. Yeah,
so
yeah.
they have to fill this space with like
Hmm.
furniture,
Yeah.
and they're just like picking out all this stuff and chatting. It jumps to like an interview with Caroline, and she says that the artistic side of Jamie and Dina is psychotic because of how intense they are. But like honestly, I feel like they're just being reasonable and discerning. Like I think that they are being,
Psychotic. What the
yeah.
heck?
I think they just have good taste and they're very
Yeah.
particular about it.
Yeah.
Like which that's why
We
they're
know
in,
Dina has good taste.
yeah, that's why they're in the artistic side of things,
Right,
and
right,
Caroline lives at the brownstone.
right.
Okay? This is
Yeah.
this is why that's their job.
Right.
But they're being very cute and chatting, and Dina is kind of starting to talk about like her home life with the the Manzo husband, her now ex-husband, but the Manzo husband,
Terrible person.
Tommy.
Terrible person.
She says, which like again, as a child watching this, I did not pick up on this, but she says that her husband doesn't like her working because he wants her to be a homemaker, and she internalizes that, and then it makes her stressed out not being home for Lexi all of the time. So now she's considering like this profession not being for her. Like working
Oh,
isn't for her.
I
She doesn't want to miss out. I think she's saying she doesn't want to miss out on stuff for Lexi. But it seems like there's a lot of pressure from her
for
husband because
sure.
she does say some comments later. And she also says like in her childhood home, she was taught to be a mother and a wife. Like she did all the laundry for the entire family. And she was one of 11. So
I know.
11 children plus sibling or plus parents. So she
Right.
was doing laundry for 13 people when she was a child. And like
Insane.
that was your role, you
Like
know?
that's a laundromat.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, very unpaid labor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so she is questioning her career path. And then the last little, we're gonna do a little dive into international politics here for a second.
Amazing.
A little, as if I haven't side quested enough already.
Who cares?
Um,
It's our
but
podcast.
it is our podcast, and I'm just having fun hanging out.
Yeah, same.
Um, so we are with Dina and Lexi in the kitchen,
Okay.
and Dina is saying that, or Dina says that Lexi is going to Cyprus for the summer. And so she's kind of stressed out trying to get everything together before Lexi leaves.
She's going with her
And
dad, right?
they don't say that explicitly. Lexi just says that like I'm going to Cyprus. I think
Okay.
eventually they do say that, but at this point I didn't know that.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
I did know that, but like whatever, you
Yeah.
don't know necessarily.
Cat's
And in
out of the
my
bag.
cat's out of the bag. I hear Cyprus and I was like, isn't that a fucking war zone or like a disputed territory or something? Like my spidey senses were tingling, and I was like, isn't that a space where like people there's territory disputes or something?
Okay. I
Um,
know nothing about this, so I can't wait to hear what you're about to say.
this is the briefest little, I don't know anything, and I don't know anything about these like two countries and their movements politically, frankly. So like I'm making no moral judgment call. I don't know if this is a controversial thing to say, but nobody listens from Cyprus, so I think we're okay.
Yet.
Yet. We haven't gotten to that market yet.
Untapped market.
Yes. So just from a little bit of light research, basically it's a disputed territory between Greece and Turkey.
Okay.
There's a question on who was there first. It was I watched like 4 8-minute videos on YouTube about this. So a lot of it has to do with like the Ottoman Empire and like Greek travel, and like there's Greek Cypriots and there's Turkish Cypriots, and Turkish like migrants slash
Okay.
colonizer is kind of the thing that it seems like it is. um, to the area. And it's disputed because it's like, okay, the Ottomans came in the 1500s, yada, yada, whatever. So basically, in the 60s, it all popped off. And Cyprus kind of is now, since then, has been kind of split in two. And there's like a no man's zone kind of in the middle.
Hmm.
And there's been a lot of efforts over the years to reunify. And then it also has to do with like joining the EU, which country does it fall, like Turkey or Greece, and like do
Okay,
they use
joining
the
the EU
euro?
is
All
such a difficult process. So I
yeah.
can
So
imagine like a war-torn, like Bosnia's been trying to get into the EU for a minute and they're
yeah,
struggling. Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure where it ended up laying because I think it had to be like called by one of the
Hmm.
countries. But I think it's kind of treated the same way like Malta and stuff are treat just
Hmm.
kind of like smaller islands.
Hmm.
Um, and yes, in the 60s or in the 70s, there was basically like little battles going, and probably not little, big battles going on. A lot had to do with like World War One, like where fallout of World War One and World War Two in Cyprus, and how it was used as like a military zone during that
Hmm.
time. Because obviously the British ruin everything,
Hmm.
and the British were claiming it as their own. And obviously natives to that island, and then like the Turkish settlers there, also kind of wanted ownership over it. So then it became like who gets this island.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know anything about the details, but basically that's like the
Okay, I didn't
dirty
even
of
know
it.
that. So,
Um,
but, okay, so why the
so
fuck was
then
she
I'm like,
traveling there?
why is she going to fucking Cyprus? So
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, what was going on in 2008 and 2009 in
Yeah.
Cyprus? And there had been a referendum in 2004 about reunification, and it kept being rejected by the Greek Cypriots. I think that's how you pronounce it. And in 2008, 2009, there were new reunification efforts. It seems like things were pretty peaceful at that point. Her father is from Cyprus.
Okay.
He lives, so I'm sure he has family there. He lives in Franklin Lakes and like
Her dad
runs.
is Tommy.
No, 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 no. No, Lexi's
Oh,
dad is Dina's first husband that she had to leave and
okay.
like live with Caroline.
Oh, right.
Lexi's dad
Okay.
is I don't know what the fuck. It was
Who
some
cares?
really
Yeah.
really Greek name. I can't
Hmm.
pronounce it. Um and he lives in Franklin Lakes and runs like a beauty empire. He's worth millions. He like
Is it
runs
Dr. De Pasquale?
not Dr. De Pasquale. We go to Dr. De Pasquale's school in this episode though.
Amazing.
Um, but no, it's not him.
Okay.
He has like his own little beauty industry
Hmm.
and he lives in Franklin Lake. So I'm assuming that she's traveling with her dad to go see family, and it seems like it maybe like they haven't been able to travel there in a minute. Like it seems like
Okay.
it's a peaceful time. Those efforts eventually were rejected and they're still not unified today. But it is like a now more popular tourist destination. So
Interesting.
yeah, that
Great
is
dissection of Cyprus,
I
Maggie.
I was really trying. I didn't want to like say anything wrong and I truly don't know anything, but I did have
Sounded
to
good to
watch
me.
a few quick history videos because I was like my spidey senses, I thought this was a war territory.
Yeah.
Basically it wasn't at this point. But
Okay. Fair.
so after we take a deep dive into Cypriotic
Lore.
history, we jump to Jacqueline. And Jacqueline is having a sit down with Ashley
Okay.
because, of course, but this one's pretty serious because Ashley is failing out and she's not going to pass her school year. And it's her
Right.
junior year. She's going into her senior year.
Hmm.
And you just like, she has a terrible attitude immediately. Like when Jacqueline's like, okay, let's sit down and chat.
Yeah.
Um, Ashley has been like late to every. Jacqueline had to have a sit down conversation with the school. She felt like she was getting like yelled at by the school, so obviously she's agitated, but she was
Yeah.
still like very chill, to be honest, for how bad Ashley's behavior is.
Hmm.
Ashley's been like tardy every single day. She has like she's failing two classes, and the school says that like they can't pass Ashley. So she has to do a couple of summer school sessions, which like shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously upsetting, but like
Right.
it's not they're giving you summer school, so like
Yeah.
take advantage of that.
Imagine actions having consequences.
Literally.
Crazy.
And no, and when Jacqueline tells her like you're failing this class, you have to do summer school, Ashley literally says, "Oh, I thought you could take care of that." And she goes to this like private school.
Uh-huh.
Then it made me think like, do kids who go to private school, like, do their parents just like pay when they're are wow.
Yes. Especially if
Wow.
the parents
Never.
work for the school, then it's
Oh.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
or like you're on the board of some shit or something.
Yeah.
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 So Ashley was literally just expecting her mom to pay for
Yeah.
her to pass.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
so
I'm
yeah,
happy she
that
didn't.
did. Maybe she did at some point, and then maybe this
Maybe.
time they wouldn't accept her money because she's
Maybe.
so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so Ashley has to do summer school. She has to be in uniform. And it's literally like 1 day a week. Like it's not even that much. And Ashley's like crying.
Did you ever have to do summer school?
No,
No.
no. I might have done like I think I did like a summer program,
Hmm.
but like it wasn't like a school, like it wasn't
Yeah.
mandated. It was
Yeah.
something I signed up for. I just loved school so much. Did you?
I did one summer because I kept leaving after lunch and missing fifth period my junior year. And they would call my dad. My dad didn't speak English, so like I was off the hook for the entire semester, but then I did have to do summer school. And it was like 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. every day for like for however long the summer was. Maybe it was like 6 weeks or something,
Yeah.
but I lived at the time across the street from the high school, so it was easy. It was an easy
Yeah.
walk. Yeah.
You're just Ashley, I guess.
I guess.
What a brat. Uh,
Yes, that's me.
but yeah, Ashley was supposed to be kicked out of the school and now she's on academic probation. So honestly, she's like lucky she wasn't kicked out. And the punishment is that they are taking away her car.
Okay.
Ashley's in tears. Now we jump to Danielle. Danielle is at the rock climbing gym with her daughters, and she says that she loves taking care of her body. And now this is the third episode in a row where we have watched Danielle work out. So, okay, we get it, sister.
Yeah.
I get it. And then honestly, one of the only reasons why I even mentioned this scene is she goes, how else can you get a 26-year-old? And then she's like gesturing to her body. And
She's
it's
referencing
like
Steve, by the way, everybody, if
he's
you're not.
referencing
Yeah.
Steve. And I was like, how else can you get a 53-year-old? What do you mean? Like, he's not 26, my sister.
That guy was about to cash in his 401k.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally. And when Danielle is talking about how she can only, obviously, this is the only way she could get a 26-year-old is like her body.
Mhm.
Christine is then interviewed and she said Steve is weird. And I'm just like glad someone finally said it. It's like, we see the fallout later in this.
Gotcha.
So next we jump to Caroline. And it's really Caroline, Jacqueline, and Lauren, but it's at Caroline's house and they're discussing Lauren's future as they were. This was kind of like a boring scene, to be honest. But it's just like lore drop is that Jacqueline was a cosmetologist and makeup artist in Las Vegas. So so Lauren respects a lot what Jacqueline has to say. And Caroline is very like, you have to learn how to do everything, Lauren. Like, if you're going to go you're not going to just go into makeup school. Like, you have to go to school, learn everything, and own a place eventually. Lauren's just so like not interested in all of this,
Yeah.
and she's like, I will not wax somebody, and like talks about how she wouldn't wax I don't remember what she calls a vagina, but she calls it something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't wax that, and she wouldn't wax buttholes, and whatever. And they go to Dr. Dave Pasquale's school. They do a little walk around, and you can just see Lauren's like, labor isn't for me.
Yeah.
And she's just saying that she's not interested in a lot of this stuff, but Caroline's very like, you have to go to the school. And Lauren says that she doesn't really have a choice, but to go to the school because otherwise she'll get cut off. And then she throws her Chanel purse on her shoulder and just like walks out. And it's like, all right, I get it. Okay. All right. Well, that all lines up. Mom and dad will pay for school and you'll keep getting your allowance. So it seems like she's on board with this at this point. So now we jump back to Teresa and Gia because of course we can't just have one storyline all at once. We have to make sure that we make this very confusing. And so Teresa and Gia are at their photo shoot trying to do what the lady at Wilhelmina with like less makeup, whatever. And they bring literally 8 suitcases that are pink and leopard print. And Gia literally is like huffing and puffing, trying to like bring the suitcase into the photo studio. And it's literally like she spent a long day in the mines. Like she's like acting like she is
She's those guys in Chernobyl.
literally, she's like, we gotta tap out. Somebody else is gonna take this part. No, she passes it off to other people. So like
Oh my
that's
God, that's so
literally
funny.
the same thing. And yeah, Gia is just very adorable during the photo shoot. Like you could see her being in a like a Gap catalog or something.
Yeah.
She's very, very cute. And now we jump back to Danielle.
Hmm.
And Danielle is hosting the first like all ladies thing of the episode. She's hosting a spa party at her house, and it's not really a spa party per se. That would insinuate that there's like facials, maybe like pedicures or something going on. It is a Botox and filler party.
Yes.
Yes, and
Yes.
her plastic surgeon is there doing
Hmm.
the Botox and fillers. And it like all the ladies just like sit around and watch her watch her get it done. Oh, have to mention it's getting hosted in her billiards room, which just reminds me of Clue, like the game and like movie slash play and
Yeah.
whatever.
It didn't
And
remind you of the 8 ball we've been playing for the last week.
oh my God, no, it didn't. It reminded because it made me think like, okay, Danielle with the
The
Botox
syringe
syringe in the
in the
billiards
billiard
room.
room.
Like that's what I'm thinking the whole time.
That's really
Um,
funny.
so yeah, so it's the ladies, her, and then her daughter. She's like, Christine wants to be a surgeon, so she's like looking at her mom getting the filler in her lips. It's a very weird
Okay.
energy. The ladies are like literally all sitting on like right next to each other on these stools, like just watching and sipping wine and just like not they just don't seem like they're having a good time. And Danielle's doing all the treatments and like not, people weren't really getting up. Eventually, Teresa does decide to get Botox between her eyes, and she
Hmm.
says it's because it's free. And I'm like, yeah, of
Valid.
course. Which makes me think of how I got Botox this week. I
Yeah.
finally got my masseter and my temple Botox
How do you
after
feel?
and I can't feel it yet.
Okay.
It doesn't kick in for a few more days, but I've been trying to get this through my insurance for the TMJ for 2 years and
Yeah.
finally did. I only had to spend $22 on
Oh,
like, yeah, on like $1,200 worth of Botox. And I'm
wow.
like, I was so dedicated because I was like, this is a fucking medical reason. I had to go to
No, you
PT for my fucking jaw.
good job.
And I did, and I'm proud of myself.
I'm very proud of you.
So relatable to
Yeah.
Teresa.
Yeah.
I love all the free Botox.
Yeah.
And then I think, oh, and Jacqueline gets something done as well,
Mhm.
just like a little bit of touch up. But Danielle's getting a majority of stuff. She gets her lips done, and it's like really graphic. And
I have seen so many videos of people getting injections in their lips, and hand salute to you guys because I could never.
it's
The
like,
way that they go, oh, I can't. I
okay,
can't.
I
I
won't
can't.
talk about it too much,
Yeah.
but it's gross.
Yeah.
And Caroline says that she just loves watching it because it's so ridiculous and insane and weird. And it's weird that we're all invited here to watch this happen. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, that is
She's
that
right.
is weird.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Um, Dina's acting very judgmental and saying that she doesn't want to get it done herself. Like she would never get it done. She says that Tommy threatened her if she ever did something to her face because he married her for it, which is awful, so terrifying, scary, ominous, especially
What
to
the
how he treats her
fuck?
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
like
is
weird.
really
Like she says
weird.
these things as a joke, and I'm like, it is a cry for help. It
Yeah.
is not a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yikes. But then Danielle is like, oh, she's saying she doesn't get anything done, but like Dina goes around all over and talks about how she gets her lips done and Botox done. So Danielle feels like Dina's just like on this, like, I think I'm like,
Pedestal.
yeah, like I think I'm better than you. And like, Dina is actively making fun of Danielle
Yeah.
during this. And it's
To be
like,
fair, she didn't fucking like her. So she
yeah,
shouldn't have even gone. I don't know why she was even there.
I honestly think that it was overkill by Dina because
Hmm.
they're sitting there and like I guess the doctor's name, I don't even know if I can say this on the podcast and we can always beep it, but the doctor's name is this like Greek name and in it it's like the word cock is in his name.
Hmm.
And Danielle's like, "Oh, I couldn't even say that with my lips right now. I think I could say cock." And like so she opens up that door of that joke. And Dina's like, oh, we know you can. So it's just like, oh my God. It's just like there's these and nobody's laughing. Everyone feel like Teresa's not even laughing. It's just
God.
Caroline and Dina are like like saying shitty things about Danielle's body in front of her. And it's
Oh,
just it feels bad.
yeah.
And it's like, why did you guys even come? Like, I didn't like it at all. It was uncomfortable. And it really sets up like how mean Danielle gets later.
Mm.
So yeah, the party ends and everything's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it sounds
Um,
like it.
yeah. Next person we see is Dina again. She's at home, like with Lexi. They're just chatting, and talking about housewife etiquette and how Lexi doesn't know how to do anything about the house. They're hiring a nanny, whatever. Um,
Nanny, how old was she?
yeah, they call it a nanny, but I think it's more of like a maid. Um,
Because I feel like she was old enough.
yeah, she was probably like 14-ish, around that age.
Yeah. Damn, I was
Um,
babysitting Amina when I was 14.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
definitely babysitting well before that age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She says it's because she doesn't want Lexi to not learn like wifely duties, basically.
Ugh. Which is such a contrast from her last episode, being like, you have to
Yeah.
be independent and do something else other than being a housewife. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody got in her head.
Dina's giving a lot of like internal conflict right
Yeah.
now. And yeah, it was just kind of a nothing scene. Now we jump back to Danielle and Jacqueline. This time Jacqueline is just going on her own to Danielle's house. And it's basically like they brought, well, not on their own. They bring their kids.
Hmm.
So it's CJ, Ashley's not there. CJ, Jacqueline, Danielle and her two daughters, and it's like a barbecue, like just pool time, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're decompressing the spa party. Danielle says she wants to plan her birthday party, and all she wants for her birthday is a bottle of Cristal and a limousine, and that's all she cares. She just wants to
It's the
drink
simple things
Cristal
in
in
life.
the yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's cute. Like, yeah, easy,
Yeah.
easy, easy. She was like, oh, I'm good with whatever. But then of course that leads into her being like, well, we know who isn't gonna get invited, obviously meaning Dina.
Yeah.
And Danielle thinks that Dina is trying to be something she's not. Danielle is now entering this pattern of just like insinuating things about Dina, but like not saying anything.
Hmm.
She later on, she's like, I know all these secrets, and it's like, I don't really know what you're saying here. You're just like trying to
Who
be
was
nice.
her source?
Right. Like we don't really know, but
Yeah.
Danielle is insinuating a lot of stuff about Dina, but I have no idea what she's even trying to insinuate.
Hmm.
And this whole conversation and like Danielle shit talking Dina is like happening actively in front of Jacqueline's son CJ. That's his aunt. And I just feel
Mm.
like it's very
Yeah.
inappropriate. Like Jacqueline should have said stop. This is because she's like, well, this is my family, so this is hard. But like this is getting spoken about in front of your like this woman's nephew. Like
Yeah,
this
I think
shouldn't
Danielle's lines are so blurred with like boundaries with talking about things with her kids because like remember her kids were helping her get ready for the date
yeah.
with Steve and like
Yeah. Well, and it's
which
not
is
even,
fine, but I'm
it's
sure she
one thing
takes it
for Danielle.
further.
Yeah. And it's one thing for Danielle's kids to know about the beef with, because at one point, Jillian even says, that's not very nice to say about Dina, mom.
Mm,
So like Jillian's hearing it, but it's like CJ, who's like the younger kid and
yeah.
is related to
Yeah, he's like
Dina.
6.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
his aunt. And I just feel like
Yeah.
Jacqueline needed to be like, hey, shut it down. Because clearly Danielle wasn't going to.
Right.
So that was a little disappointing in Jacqueline for not doing
Hmm.
that. I feel like that wasn't a good call by her. Because Danielle's saying, like, she's starting to say stuff about Dina's weight, saying she gained weight. Just like,
Oh,
she's going off and like
yeah.
digging because she was offended by the spa
Yeah.
party. And yeah, it's just, you can see that she's spiraling. Uh, and I don't like it. It just
Yeah.
it doesn't. She's just not coming. Not that Dina came across great, but like Danielle just doesn't have the charisma, so it comes across really
Yeah.
badly.
Yeah.
It just comes across mean.
Yeah.
And then the scene ends with Danielle saying, "Dina does not like me because she's threatened by me. I know way too much about her.
Oh, Lord.
That scares her." And I just think that's so stupid and delusional of Danielle to think that Dina Manzo is threatened by her.
Yeah.
like Dina obviously looks down on Danielle. She
Yeah.
is slut shaming Danielle. She's not being nice to Danielle, but it's
To her
not because
face also.
yeah, and it's not because she thinks that Danielle is better than her. She thinks Danielle's beneath her.
Right.
Like that is absolutely the vibe. And
It's
Danielle's
just so rich coming from the person who literally was like so apologetic to her last episode and was like really wanting to be. Remember, she was like, I could really see us being good friends.
yeah, yeah. No, and Danielle, I mean, Dina continued like her behavior, but like Danielle, why are you expecting anything different? You
Right.
know? Like
Yeah.
this. So then she's going lower than she'd shown before, which is putting Jacqueline in an even worse spot.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna play out good,
Yeah.
basically. Next scene, we did a lot of jumping around this episode. Okay. Now we're with
First few
Carol.
seasons are like this, honestly.
It's insane.
Yeah.
This is like another Ashley scene basically, but Ashley isn't in it. It's Jacqueline complaining about Ashley.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously Ashley was almost kicked out of school. She got her
Yeah.
car taken away. And Chris, Jacqueline's husband and Caroline's brother, decides to buy Ashley a fully souped up like white Jeep Grand Cherokee with leather interior.
Yes, I
And
remember.
yeah, like leather interior, skylight, it's brand new. And Jacqueline's upset, obviously, because
Yeah.
she's like, we took her car away.
Yeah.
And now she has this car. And Jacqueline tried to talk to Chris. Chris was like, well, she was really upset after that conversation. And we needed to build up her self-confidence, which is crazy to spend
That's
like
when you like take her to
80,000
Cold Stone, not to fucking the Jeep dealership.
to buy her an $80,000 car.
It was
And
80 grand.
I'm assuming though, like to do a Jeep Grand Cherokee that was like full leather interior, all of the things that they were saying was in
True.
it, I wouldn't be shocked if a brand new
Yeah, no,
one
you're
was
right.
close to that.
Damn, were the tariffs high back then too?
I don't know. They paid cash for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, he wants to build up her self-confidence, which I'm just like, that's such a good stepdad move. Like,
Yeah.
no wonder Ashley likes you.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like of
Yeah.
course. And Ashley hasn't seen it yet. So Jacqueline took the car to Caroline's and is like, I need help.
Yeah.
Caroline, talk to your brother and please like talk some sense into him. And Caroline immediately is just like, I'm not getting involved in this. Like, even though Caroline is willing to give her 2 cents about everything, but when Jacqueline is asking for help with Caroline's brother, like this is
Her
her brother.
niece and her
Yeah, and
niece.
her niece. And now Caroline's like, well, she'll give her opinions on like what she thinks about Jacqueline and how Jacqueline is as a mother, but she won't like step in when she's being like explicitly asked for help.
And
And
you know
I
that
don't like that.
if Chris would have gone to Caroline and been like, I need help with Jackie, Caroline would have been immediately like, I'll talk to her. What she's
Yeah.
doing is not right. She's a pushover, blah, blah, blah. But it's like the patriarch of it all, you know, because
Yeah,
Albie was being
yeah.
was being a fucking asshole to about his daughter, and she just was sitting there and like laughing it off.
Yeah. No, I really don't like it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, especially with Caroline's whole character as being this like Italian mom. And, you know, they live in this like they're from this very supportive, close, tight-knit family. But it's like so two-faced of her to be willing to tell Jacqueline everything she's done wrong, but not be willing to help with Caroline's brother, Jacqueline's husband. Like I just you can't she's giving two messages and I don't
Yeah.
like it and I think it's very misogynistic of her.
Hmm.
And I think it means she actually doesn't give a fuck about Jacqueline.
For
Uh,
sure. When
and
people show you who they are
yeah,
the first time, believe them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed. Not shocked, but disappointed
Yeah.
in Caroline. And her kids' reactions, like Christopher's there and he like I just like don't think these kids should all be giving their 2 cents about Ashley.
Yeah. It's messy.
Ashley's going through something, and I think
Yeah.
it's one thing for Jacqueline to go talk to her sister-in-law and ask for help, but the kids, it's like this is your cousin, like you're not any better than her.
Yeah.
Don't be like this just shouldn't concern them. I think
Right.
if I was Ashley, I'd be upset that this conversation was happening as if I'm beneath these people. Like
Right.
that's how it's coming across, and I don't know. Jacqueline saying like Caroline is willing to put blame on me, but she's not willing to like talk to her brother about things, and I really
Yeah.
don't like that. Christopher says that if he acted like anything like Ashley, like one time he forgot to tell his mom he was going to a Knicks game. And he was kicked all the way around the perimeter he got his ass kicked all the way around the perimeter of the brownstone. And
Shameless brownstone plug.
I know, and everyone laughs, and I'm just like, one, I just hate laughs about physical
Yeah,
punishment for children. But it is 2009, so sounds about right. And also now we can no longer get married at the brownstone because I'll just be
Mm,
thinking about Christopher Manzo getting chased down outside the whole time. So I think I'm
fine,
sorry about that news. Yeah.
fine. We'll pick a different place.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, so that scene, I'm just like kind of fucking pissed at Caroline because I think that she's being very two-faced
Just
and
fake.
yeah,
So fake. She's
I
like
don't,
all bark, no bite sometimes.
yeah, I don't think that you can sit here and say you're this big, big family who cares about each other and then not show up when you're asked for help. Like
We've seen
I don't
that
like it.
before.
We've definitely seen that before and I
Yeah.
really fucking hate it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's that scene. Next, we jump to a very critical scene. It is a triple date between Danielle, Steve, Teresa, Joe, and Jacqueline and Chris.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're on a triple date. Steve is good friends with Teresa and Joe. So that's like how Danielle was introduced to him.
Hmm.
So it kind of makes sense as like a trio to like go out all together.
Where the fuck did Joe and Steve meet?
No idea. Because how the fuck, like at the strip club.
Like,
I don't know.
what in what world does the middle part of a Venn diagram of those two?
Maybe Steve is like a laborer on one of Joe's sites.
Maybe. Maybe.
That makes the most sense just
Yeah.
age wise,
Yeah.
like to me. But yeah, they're good friends and hang out all the time, whatever. And immediately when this is Danielle's birthday dinner, okay?
Okay.
Immediately bad vibes. Bad
Okay.
vibes between Danielle and Steve. They aren't talking, they aren't looking at each other, even though they're sitting next to each other. And the other couples are feeling a really weird vibe.
Okay.
There's something about like one of the guys is like, do you tell your girl how beautiful she is? And Steve is like, well, I don't have to tell her. She knows that. And Danielle's like, well, he's a fool. And I'm just like, that's a great response. And I want to call people fools more often.
Yeah.
Um, which like, yeah, that is stupid to say,
Yeah,
Steve.
what the fuck? Yeah.
And it's like then Danielle, Teresa, and Jacqueline have a little kiki outside, and Danielle's like suddenly realizing that she's dating a 26-year-old who doesn't want to get married and like doesn't have money. Like it is like all of this she's realizing this in this moment. Because I guess he'd been like ignoring texts and like showed up for this dinner. There's a lot of trouble in paradise. So during this little conversation between Jacqueline and Teresa and Danielle, Jacqueline and Teresa have to convince Danielle not to break up with Steve at the dinner table. Um, I really wish they didn't do that. I wish we saw her break up with him at the
Yeah,
dinner
that would have been
table.
good.
Yeah, that would have been so iconic.
Yeah.
So that's where that ends. Things are not going well between the two of them. So now we finally jump back to Teresa and Gia again because we're all so concerned about this Gia modeling side quest.
Yes.
Don't worry, we get a conclusion to things right now
Thank God.
for this episode. I thought the episode was over at this point. I'm like, why is this episode going on forever? And Gia is at Wilhelmina with Teresa again, and they're with the same lady, chatting about the photos, and immediately lady is like, oh, you didn't understand what I was saying. What photographer did you use? And Teresa's like the same one. No.
But to be fair, she didn't say to use a different photographer. She said stop putting so much makeup on her.
Sure, but she was also saying like these are very like pageant photos.
Gotcha.
It felt like
She wanted more of a Ralph Lauren raw vibe instead of like a prop.
yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
And I feel like that was a heavily insinuated thing. Like you could definitely tell I could tell the vibe from the lady. We know Teresa's not the smartest tool in the shed.
No.
Sharpest tool in the shed. I should stop
Smartest
like
works too.
shit talking people. Because apparently I don't know anything.
You know about Cyprus though.
I do know, and now you do too.
Thank God.
Yes. And yeah, so she's going through the photos, the Wilhelmina lady, and she's like, this is just like not what I was looking for. Like, I don't think you understood what I was saying. So the Wilhelmina lady's looking through the photos and the vibes are off. But then she finds a couple that she's like, okay, see this. And they were just like pretty natural photos. They looked like
Hmm.
school photos, to be
Hmm.
honest. It was just with better lighting, where Gia looks like her normal self and like just cute, like a little kid. But like the poses and the cropping of it is what the lady didn't like, because that is what made it look pageanty to her.
Right.
But when she wasn't in like the studio, when she was outside, that was the photo she liked. And it's so crazy to me how Teresa walked away from this conversation feeling like it went well, feeling like she did that well and she understood the assignment because it was literally a stack of like a bunch of photos and the lady picked out like six that she liked and there were a lot of photos that she did
Yeah.
not like. So it didn't feel like it went as well as Teresa thought it did, but Teresa's like, okay, it went great. And Gia's like, yeah, it did go great. So
What did
whatever.
they say
It's
that they would
this.
be like calling her, that they would be considering her for any campaigns or anything? Like, where did it end?
So she said that the Wilhelmina lady said that I think there's some campaigns we can get you on, but we have
Okay.
to be exclusive because Gia also
Ah,
has a
right.
modeling agency in New Jersey,
Okay.
that she was occasionally taking gigs from. And the Wilhelmina lady is like, well, we are exclusive, so you
Yeah.
have to stop taking their calls and no
Uh-huh.
longer. And Teresa's like, yes, of course, that's fine, which like makes sense for that
Yeah.
agency. But yeah, it just didn't feel like Gia was super into any of this. And Teresa just seemed very delusional, which we know she has a huge tendency to be. So I don't
We do know
imagine
that.
I don't imagine this goes very far, but that is where we conclude our Gia modeling journey for this
And what
episode.
a journey it was.
I don't
Wow.
even like what the hell did we just I don't care.
Yeah.
That's how I felt like after all of that stuff. The
Yeah.
fucking lady still don't like the photos. But we finally are entering the last scene of this long fucking episode. And it's a very transformative scene.
Oh,
You can feel the alliances shift in this
okay.
scene. Teresa is coming over Jacqueline's place for a play date between their kids. And Teresa wants to talk to Jacqueline about the photo shoot and all that stuff. But almost immediately, Jacqueline gets a call from Danielle. I'm sure producers told them, hey, they're over there because like people are filming Danielle
Yeah.
having this call too. But Danielle calls and says, I need to come. She's very dramatic. I need to come over. I need to talk to you about things. Things are not good. I really don't know what to do about Steve. Like, just so depressed about her fucking 26-year-old bald man. Um,
Who had just gotten off his parents' health insurance at this time.
just gotten off his fucking parents' health insurance. Like, oh my God, we're being so dramatic. And Jacqueline, of course, I hate to slander Jacqueline, but I feel like
Our girl.
she's
Our
being a dorm.
Shayla.
My Shayla, she's being a doormat, and
Okay.
it's upsetting me because she was just trying to have a nice day with her kids. Really,
Yeah.
like that's what this was.
For the
But when
second
Teresa,
time, by the way.
right, for the second time, and Danielle keeps like bringing this drama and
Yeah.
talking about Steve, and Teresa and Jacqueline are like, everyone knew that this guy wasn't ready to fucking commit. If you want to get banged, get banged. But like, what delusion are you sitting in where you think that this guy was ready for being a stepdad to two
Yeah.
teenagers? Like,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous. And he's 26. He doesn't have the money that you're looking to be supported by. Like, what's going
Yeah.
on? But Danielle shows up and she's just very, very upset. And once again, saying she's so shocked that this 26-year-old is 20 years younger than her, and that he isn't there financially. And she is looking for the girls to tell her to break up with him.
Hmm.
And they're both frustrated because they've heard this so many times, which is where I said that I can have my like delusional dating tendencies and that I always fear that I can get in that annoying space with my friends. So I
I've never been annoyed with you
oh
in
my
that.
God,
But to
good.
be fair, I have given you pushback on some things and you're just really receptive about it. So
Right.
I don't think that you're one to be like, no, like Actually, I don't know. Maybe with the last guy a little bit, but
Well, I
but
did keep some things secret from you because
yeah,
I
you
knew that
did.
it was gonna be. It took me like 6 months to confess.
Yeah.
It's like
No, but even then I was like, "What? You're not in trouble. Like it's okay."
I was like a school child, like or
Yeah.
school child, whatever, a kid coming to the principal's office. I was like, I have something to tell you.
Yeah. No, I don't think you've ever been that way. I think you're pretty self-aware
Yeah,
and yeah, you always end up figuring it out and
and
I
like
I feel
I
like you are
know
pretty
when.
receptive to me being like, I think that's kind of weird. You should re-examine that. And you're like, okay, maybe you're right. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think you're very stubborn.
And I think it's because I respect my friends. Like
Right.
I respect your opinion and I trust your opinion.
Yeah.
And you know me better. Like you're able to see all sides of things
Yeah.
when I'm just kind of too much in the trenches
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah.
And Danielle's just not looking for that. She's not,
Yeah.
and sometimes I get it. Sometimes I enter a conversation, I'm like, I'm not
Your mind's
interested.
made up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not interested in deconstructing this behavior. Like
Right. I don't need I'm not taking feedback at this
right,
time.
I want to be
Yeah.
affirmed, so I get that too. But
Yeah.
Danielle's being very annoying. Like it's
Yeah.
giving Carrie and Big. It's
Mm.
giving
Never
just
watched
fucking
Sex in the City.
okay, boo.
I know. I
Boo.
know. I know.
But basically, it's like this just needs to be fucking done, and you're
Yeah.
dragging everybody else down in this drama, and it's annoying at this
Yeah.
point to everybody. Um, and yeah, Danielle is upset that the girls are not responding with like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She's like upset that
They're being
Teresa's
real.
and Jack, yeah, that they're
Yeah.
saying like, "I don't know what you were really expecting from this guy,"
Right.
and she gets really defensive and ends up leaving after like 5 minutes. There's interviews like jumping to Teresa, and she's just so over Danielle, because she's friends with Steve personally,
Right.
so it puts her in a weirder spot. And she talks about how Steve comes over her and Joe's house, and Steve is talking about, and Steve tells Teresa and Joe that he is not like in love with Danielle, that this isn't like a love relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And what Teresa specifically hears is that Steve goes to Danielle's house for a daily routine blowjob and he's only there for sex. So that's what Teresa's hearing, which also I would not trust fucking Steve, bald
Yeah.
Steve, for a
Bah.
second. So I
Yeah.
entirely believe a world in which he's telling Danielle
Yeah.
all of this, like these lovey-dovey things and using her. And she's clearly vulnerable. Maybe this
Yeah.
is like, I mean, she's like dealing with that. She's coming out of a divorce. Like she's trying
The
to figure her stuff
fallout.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be shocked because a man manipulates. And
One thing a man's gonna do is manipulate. Yeah.
and I wouldn't be shocked if that's what's going
Yeah.
on. Because hey, I've dated 26-year-olds. That is my age bracket.
Yeah.
And yo, girl, get out. That is the
Yeah.
worst one to have. Like, do not, warning sign, do like caution, do not cross. Like
Yeah.
that is bad call for her.
Yeah.
So I don't entirely agree, like believe what Teresa was saying, but
Yeah.
overall, different messages are being said. So
Hmm.
Teresa is just like so done with it because she doesn't perceive this as like the loving relationship that Danielle does. Danielle leaves because she's so upset and just like she basically storms out with her daughters, and like her daughters are seeing her like in this really agitated mood, and it's just like, okay, this also doesn't feel great. Um and then Teresa and Jacqueline decide to do a little debrief, because that was a lot. And they're sitting down and start talking about the rumors that are about
The
the
rumors.
rumors,
The
the
husbands.
husbands, the lack of husbands.
Yeah.
Um, and they're talking about the rumors going around Franklin Lakes about Danielle.
Mm.
And they just start listing them. That Danielle's looking for dollar signs. Again, okay, if everyone's aware that this is your motivation, if this is being communicated, not my thing, but at least she, if she's being honest, at least she's being
Yeah.
upfront about it. She does have
Yeah.
2 kids, so that's
Right.
like I
Girls
get
gotta
it.
eat. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Teresa also starts saying that Danielle's a husband stealer, that Danielle was a stripper.
Mm.
But Danielle does say that she was a professional dancer, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe she was just being honest,
Mm-hmm.
just like reframing the term. Um, and then Jacqueline shares that she's getting a lot of pressure from her family to end her friendship with Danielle.
Boo.
Very boo.
Yeah.
But I think this is all like Danielle's behavior and lashing out is pushing Jacqueline away from her.
Yeah.
It's draining Jacqueline.
Yeah.
And
And
then it
Jacqueline's already taking on so much from Ashley and Chris in this time too, so it's a lot.
yeah, Jacqueline is
Plus her
kind of
fertility issues, like she's dealing with a lot.
yeah, Jacqueline has a lot going on. I think she just and Danielle has been a good friend to her, but
She has.
I think it's just all too much right now.
Yeah.
Uh After Jacqueline and Teresa decompress about this conversation and share the gossip that they've heard about Danielle, it cuts to an interview with Caroline. And Caroline says that all of these rumors are beyond catty gossip, and she wants to investigate these claims, and she will find out the truth.
Oh my God. Somebody get this girl a PI license,
No,
please.
truly. Caroline said war. She was making a war call at the end of that episode. So that's where we end things with Danielle kind of seems like she's
Wow.
on the outs with everybody. Even Jacqueline, who has the patience of a saint,
Yeah.
is like it's too much for her right now. So
Mind you, this is episode 3.
three.
Yeah.
Three, and we're talking about husband stealers and stripping.
Yeah.
And a lot of other sexual acts.
And this is why New Jersey's the best.
And this is
Because they
why
were
New
feeding
Jersey-
us.
They really were.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and I think that Jacqueline is kind of like the main character, which I never really saw her as a main character, to be honest, because she's like so nice.
Yeah.
But she's kind of a main character this season. Like she's the link between
Yeah.
like all of the ladies and all of the drama. Because like
Yeah.
if Jacqueline wasn't there, Danielle wouldn't be there. And Jacqueline's friends with Teresa. Otherwise, Teresa's only friends with Dina.
Right.
So then that makes Teresa talk to Danielle. So it's like,
Yeah.
Jacqueline is, and then obviously related to the other ladies. So she's like the main person in the show, kind of getting
She's the nucleus.
She's in almost every scene.
Yeah.
Like even like if it's not a one-on-one family scene, she was in every scene of this.
Oh my God, good
of
for
this
her.
episode. So
I
yeah,
hope those residual checks are coming in.
I hope so. I hope so. So yeah, that is the end of episode 3. One of Us.
Amazing work, Maggie. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we've got a war call, and we are going to be in the trenches for the next few episodes.
Sounds like it. I can't wait
Yeah.
to watch next week's episode and see what this investigation looks like from Caroline Manzo.
Oh, the teaser looks great. We got the book. The book enters the public domain.
Oh my, I'm gonna watch that episode tonight when I go to sleep so I
Yeah.
can get a little taste of
so
my
it's in your
material.
dreams.
Yeah.
So that's your what did you say? Your neurological regulation.
My nervous system.
Neurological. This is your nervous system.
Okay, Dr. De Pasquale. That was a great episode though, honestly.
It was. There was so much.
Yeah, there was so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for recapping that for us, Maggie.
What's in the
Garbage. The garbage, our favorite segment of this podcast.
Our favorite. We got to go dumpster diving again. I know we're in the muck every other week, but hey, it's worth it.
It's so worth it. Who did you pick for us to dumpster dive this week, Maggie?
So, here's the thing. I was a little bit conflicted because I wanted to choose either of the ladies we have already dumpster dove in because of who they played in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't really think that I was interested in any of the other ladies' dumpsters. So I went with a little bit of a creative choice.
Okay.
And we're going to go dumpster diving in Steve's garbage.
That's good, Maggie.
Yeah, let's go into Steve's
Oh my
garbage.
God, Steve's garbage.
Yep, yeah. We got to know what's in that fucking 26-year-old's dumpster.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to hear what I think is going to
I
be
do.
in Steve's garbage?
I do.
Okay. So we have his used minoxidil ointment containers.
That's so good. Okay.
We have his cell phone because he got a new one so that Danielle could never contact him again.
And then we also have his original social security card because he changed his identity when he started claiming he was 26 years old.
Those are so good, Maggie.
That's what's in Steve's garbage.
Oh my God. And what a good garbage that is. Wow. That's a hard one to top.
It is. And I'm just so great like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just rolled right off the tongue for you. It's almost like you prepared for this.
It's almost like I have it in notes.
Okay, Steve's garbage. I think there is a copy of a Chapter 7 bankruptcy filing in the garbage.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Because there's no way he could keep up with being a partner to Danielle. And if he was working for not Gorga, Giudice, we can assume that there were money troubles. So
for sure.
I think there's a Chapter 7 bankruptcy filing in the garbage. I think there's also a destroyed Xbox controller because he's fucking 26 and when he's not getting blown by Danielle, he's fucking rage Call of Duty playing.
Throwing it through a wall.
Exactly. And I think there is his old insurance card from the insurance that he had with his parents.
Yes.
But he had to go find a different insurance. So he had to throw the old insurance card in the garbage.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I am so glad you went dumpster diving with me today.
It was so fun.
I really liked this unconventional choice. I had a lot
That's
of
a
fun
really
with
good
it.
one. The empty minoxidil container was so good.
I had just gotten targeted a TikTok about minoxidil as if I'm balding. I just I fall so victim so easily.
Same, me or a ring. Wow, that was really great, Maggie. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for joining me on this episode. I really enjoyed recapping it for everybody.
Yes. We hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, keep it to your fucking self.
Also, we are going to have little questions and a poll that you can answer at the end of this on Spotify. So we're going to try that out, work on our engagement, see if you enjoy the poll.
Yes, we will see you on our next episode to talk about episode 4, which puts us almost halfway through this first season. This first season's really short. So they cranked out a lot of action-packed episodes this first season. And I think the last 2 episodes of the season are the reunion, right?
They're the 2 reunion episodes, and then there's like a behind the scenes, all the deleted scene ones. Like, to be honest, I skip those usually.
So that means that there's only really 8 episodes of like actual. So we are after our next episode, we'll be halfway through this first season.
And so much has happened.
So much. Literally so much already, episode 3. So thank you everybody who has joined us for our 3rd episode. We can't wait to gab with you in our next episode, and we will talk to you then.
See you later.
Bye. We post a full video podcast on our YouTube channel at Real Girls of Gabbing. Stay in touch with us on Instagram and TikTok at Real Girls of Gabbing. For media and partnership inquiries, reach out to us at realgirlsofgabbing@gmail.com. We can't wait to gab with you.